Next on WVUA 23 News, temperatures are not looking very cool. More in details in just a bit.
And severe weather season is quickly approaching. What classes the National Weather Service is offering to encourage the community to gain more knowledge on severe weather. And a local event today that allowed kids in the community to interact with occupational vehicles. What activities were offered? WVUA 23 News starts now.
This is WVUA 23 News.
We're glad you're with us. I'm Laura Vale. Topping our news tonight is weather. Alabama is starting to enjoy some cooler fall temperatures. Molly Starr joins us in the studio. Molly, what kind of temperatures can we see heading into this work week?
Hey, Laura. Unfortunately, they're not very fall-like. We've got temperatures in the 80s, and we're starting off cooler this week with 82, reaching 85 by Thursday. And honestly, these temperatures, they're not fall-like at all. We have a little cold front moving in. As you can see, those temperatures start decreasing Thursday, Friday. We might see some rain on that Halloween, but these details will come more. But this is just not a good-looking fall weather temperature, Laura. And like I said, we have a small chance of rain coming ahead, and I'll just have more details for you on that in just a few minutes.
1 month has passed since Hurricane Helene caused tens of billions of dollars worth of havoc on several states. North Carolina was severely hit, and as cleanup efforts continue, residents are hoping to return to some sort of normalcy. John Lawrence reports.
This flood hit 27. I mean, you can see the flood water mark.
Hurricane Helene is long gone, but the aftermath remains.
There was some video of an area that I knew intimately in western North Carolina, and when they sent the video, I didn't know what I was looking at. And it was stunning to me to see this area that I grew up in, that I knew, that I no longer recognized.
On Saturday, Eric Church and nearly a dozen other musical acts held a benefit concert in Charlotte to help the victims of the storm.
We got a platform, and if God's going to give us this ability to use that platform to raise money for people who need it, that's the best thing you can do in life.
Show officials say all proceeds will go to hurricane relief efforts, including businesses trying to get reestablished.
We've done $18,000 of refunds so far. So I'm like taking the money that we've raised for rebuilding the restaurant and just using it to refund the hotel rooms.
As for the week ahead, students in Asheville are returning to the classroom with a modified schedule.
The focus isn't going to be jumping right back into academics, but really taking time to connect with their friends, to get back into a sense of normalcy in a gradual way. And then on Wednesday, we'll be back to our full schedules.
I'm John Lawrence reporting.
According to the superintendent of Asheville City Schools, none of the schools were damaged in the storm and all have electricity, internet, and running water, though the water from the pipes hasn't been deemed safe for students to drink. The weather has been beautiful lately, but severe weather season is right around the corner. The Birmingham National Weather Service is offering free storm spotter classes at 6 p.m. Tuesday, October 29th in Fayette County. Storm spotting can be done from your home, work, or around the community. The classes will cover all types of severe weather, and the National Weather Service is encouraging people to attend these classes so they have more eyes on weather conditions to help them issue crucial severe weather warnings.
We need eyes on the ground, boots on the ground, folks that can tell us what's really happening on the ground when we see that signature on radar and we're making that decision on whether or not to put out a warning. It's so very helpful to have a trained eye telling us what's happening.
To sign up for a class or to learn more, visit weather.gov/MBX. The Walker County Commission has approved 24/7 medical coverage for the county jail. The sheriff's office announced the approval on Facebook. The commission approved 16 hours of medical coverage in 2020, but that will soon change to all day, every day. The county jail was federally mandated in 1990 to have 24-hour medical care before the decree was lifted in 2006, almost 20 years ago. The sheriff says this will help change inmates in a positive way. He says an inmate's chances of returning to jail are lowered if they can start their journey off being healthy. And residents of West Blockton need to be aware of fake movie money circulating around town. West Blockton police took to Facebook to warn residents and also shared photos of the fake bills. Police ask anyone who comes across of any to dispose of it and warns it is illegal to use. You can also report any information you have to the police. Stillman College announced they are officially partners with the Saban Center. Stillman joins Shelton State Community College and the University of Alabama as strategic partners. The goal of this partnership is to promote STEM and art education throughout our state. Stillman administrators say they believe this is a great educational opportunity for students, and they're excited to impact future generations. And the Tuscaloosa Fine Arts Academy at Bryant High School needs your vote. They are one of 6 finalists in the AASB's 2024 Annual Convention Entertainment Contest. Voting ends Wednesday, October 30th at 5 p.m. The winner will perform at the convention in Montgomery December 5th through 7th. For the link to vote, visit our website at WVUA23news.com. And New Heights Stars Academy in Tuscaloosa is hosting their annual Haunted House event this week. The Haunted House event will take place Tuesday, October 29th at New Heights Stars Academy from 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. Student-created scary characters will be featured for the community to enjoy, as well as local vendors, a photo booth, and activities for all ages. The students have created 3D characters, written stories, and recorded audiobooks of the characters to make the perfect Halloween story. Admission to the Haunted House is $10, and all proceeds will go to benefiting school programs. Kids in the community got to see trucks from different occupations today at Sokol Park for the Touch a Truck event. Occupational vehicles lined the outside of Mason's Place playground for the kids to interact with. Various first responder and construction vehicles were on display. Kids were able to explore the inside of the vehicles and even honk the horns. Workers passed out candy and answered questions about different occupations.
It's good for the kids. They like to see the trucks. Some of them are scared of it. Most of them like it. But the cool thing about it is the parents, they get as much out of it as the kids do. They'll ask us questions and see the trucks, and helps them to learn something too, and what we do in the community.
Kids were able to dress up and even show off their costumes in a costume parade. And witches rode around Kentuck Park for the 6th annual Witches Ride to raise money for a local nonprofit, the Art of Tuscaloosa. The event also featured a performance by the Ark Sound of Joy, as well as food trucks, raffles, and silent auctions. Kids were able to enjoy bounce houses, games, and fun art projects. The witches took to their decorated brooms and rode throughout Northport before coming back to the park.
I was kind of like trying to get a lay of the land of Tuscaloosa, because I was kind of like, what is this city? And then I saw the advertisement for the Witches Ride, and I was like, this looks so much fun. So it's something me and my mom can do, and we've done it every year since I moved back. So it kind of makes me feel like I'm more involved in the community.
Many local businesses partnered with the event as sponsors, and silent auction prizes included photos of Bama player Rocky Block and a round of golf at North River Yacht Club. A new Bank of America report shows many families may be struggling financially. What factors are causing Americans to live paycheck to paycheck? And one popular airline fights to stay in the air with plans for a major reduction in workforce. We'll have those stories and details when we return. Talks to secure the release of the hostages and reach a ceasefire in Gaza will resume today. For the first time in 2 months, top negotiators from the U.S., Israel, and Qatar will meet in Doha, including the heads of the CIA and Mossad. But officials tell CNN that there is little expectation of a breakthrough before the U.S. presidential election. Looks like a big election case is headed to the Supreme Court. That's after a federal appeals court refused to reinstate a Virginia program to purge non-citizens from voter polls. Sunday's decision by the Fourth U.S. Circuit of Appeals comes after a federal judge Friday ordered state election officials to restore the registrations of about 1,600 people. Those people had been removed based on indications that they might not be citizens. The judge said the purge violated federal law that blocks systemic voter roll removals 90 days before a federal election. The law, however, allows a review of individual registrations. The ruling comes on the heels of a Justice Department victory in a similar case brought against Alabama for a purge program running the 90-day window. Election Day is 9 days away, and candidates are continuing campaigning in battleground states as early voting is underway in many places. Former President Donald Trump is in New York as Vice President Kamala Harris rallies in Pennsylvania. Today, the DNC displayed multiple messages onto Madison Square Garden ahead of Trump's remarks there, with slogans such as Trump equals unhinged and Trump equals cheat. Meanwhile, Trump told the crowd at his rally to stand up come Election Day.
Next Tuesday, you have to stand up and you have to tell Kamala Harris that you've done a terrible job, that crooked Joe Biden has done a terrible job. You've destroyed our country. We're not going to take it anymore.
The event in Trump's hometown included speeches from House Speaker Mike Johnson, billionaire Elon Musk, Robert F. Kennedy Jr., and former First Lady Melania Trump. Harris plans to travel to Philadelphia on Sunday and then to Ann Arbor, Michigan on Monday with Tim Walz and singer-songwriter Maggie Rogers. Democrats have outspent Republicans in advertising since the day after President Biden withdrew from the presidential race. Democrats have forked over $1.3 billion as for ads, while Republicans have shelled out $827 million. That's according to Ad Impact data. It's a total of more than $2.1 billion worth of advertising in just 15 weeks. Democrats have outspent Republicans in all 7 battleground states during the condensed general election, with Pennsylvania the top target for both parties. More high-earnings households are living paycheck to paycheck. The Bank of America released a report that says about a fifth of U.S. households that earn more than $150,000 a year are in that situation. The bank says inflation, pricey mortgages, and big utility bills are stretching family budgets thin, even for higher earners. The analysis says some households might find relief as inflation rates drop and kids age out of child care. Spirit Airlines has announced a new plan to sell older planes and cut jobs. Spirit Airlines said in a regulatory filing it would sell 23 of its older Airbus aircrafts starting this month, which Spirit estimates will bring in about $519 million. And Spirit said it also plans to cut about $80 million in annual cost by a reduction in workforce. That job cuts would be dependent on the airline's expected flight volume for the next year. It's not immediately clear how many employees would be impacted.
Well, still ahead, we don't have fall-like temperatures coming our way. Stick around after the break to find out more. Well, it's been another warm day out there. Now, it wasn't as warm as it was yesterday because we did see that little bit of that cold front move in last night, but we're still well above average. Our high today, 83. Our average is only 73, so a 10-degree difference is quite a bit, but record was 86. And that was just last year. So we're still on that higher side of those temperatures. So let's take a look outside of Tuscaloosa. Now we had 83 in Tuscaloosa, Demopolis 85, Montgomery 89 degrees. And now if they had any humidity, they could have seen a heat index into the 90s, which in my opinion is absolutely ridiculous for October. But then we have areas like Haleyville, Coleman, and Gadsden sitting in the 70s as their high. Now granted, they were 79, might as well be 80 in my opinion. But our temperatures right now are looking a lot better. We've got 65 in Tuscaloosa, 70 in Birmingham, 65 over in Anniston, and 61 in Jasper, Haleyville at 57 degrees. Now, unfortunately, while we want those fall-like temperatures, we're not really getting them. Our high tomorrow, again, 82, 84, 85 on Wednesday. Now, Halloween is on Thursday, and we'll cool down a little bit to 83 degrees. Now, with this, we do have another small little cold front moving through, but I'll show you what that looks like in just a few minutes. Well, Doppler radar is not showing anything but that ground clutter, which just means there's some moisture in the atmosphere, but it's not raining itself. So let's look at our satellite radar instead, where you can just see these clouds that we have moving through. Now, we did have a few spotty showers this morning, but most of those were gone by those mid-afternoon hours. Now, let's look at this cold front we've got coming. So Thursday, Friday, looking a lot like the one we saw last night. We've got slightly cooler temperatures and spotty isolated showers. Now we could see some more rain with that chance on Thursday. Could be more of a line of rain if you look at your radar sometime Thursday morning moving into the later afternoon hours, but that's our only chance for the week. So that chance is looking like it could increase. So when you're out there with your kids trick-or-treating or any other Halloween festivities you might have going on, make sure to watch the weather, maybe have an umbrella just in case, but your temperatures you can expect from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. is going to be quite a range. We're going to cool down pretty drastically from 80 degrees to around 65. Now, depending on how fast that cold front moves, if it stalls out a little bit, we could have a bit of a difference within these temperatures, but we'll make sure to keep those updated for you guys. So let's take a look at this extended forecast to put a little light onto what I'm trying to talk about. So again, Monday's going to look awfully similar today. We'll have more clouds tomorrow, just as much as we did today. Not going to do too much, unfortunately. Maybe some shade, maybe not. Tuesday, Wednesday, it looks like the beginning of summer. 84, 85, sunny and hot. Maybe a few wispy clouds out there. And then, Laura, we've got this other little cold front. They're not doing much.
Yeah.
We're still in the 80s for late October, early November at this point.
Those bus stops mornings are going to be so bad for the students and parents, aren't they?
Yes, they're going to go in sweaters and come home in shorts and T-shirts.
Don't you miss those days?
I wore uniforms.
Just coming home sweaty, you know?
True.
All right, well, WVUA 23 sports anchor Sam Hawley is in for a look at your sports. Sam, good evening.
Good evening, Laura. The AP poll has been released, and the Alabama Crimson Tide have moved up in the rankings. Find out what their ranking is. And what was the catalyst for Alabama's offense yesterday? Hint, it was the running game. More on that when we come back. Good evening, I'm Sam Holly. After an impressive win over number 21 Missouri yesterday, the Crimson Tide jumped one spot to number 14 in the AP poll. Last night's matchup between Texas A&M and LSU had huge implications on AP poll. Texas A&M moved up 4 spots, which is tied for the biggest jump, along with Notre Dame after the win over Navy. On the reverse, LSU dropped 8 spots to number 16, which is Alabama's next opponent, following the bye week. Now the stakes have been raised for that game as both teams fight to keep their college football playoff hopes alive. Well, the Crimson Tide took it to the Missouri Tigers yesterday, and a big reason why was the emergence of the run game. Now in the first quarter, Jam Miller and Justice Haynes combined for 4 carries and 1 yard, but Alabama continued to run the ball with contributions from Jalen Milroe, Kendrick Law, and freshman running back Richard Young. The Crimson Tide amassed 271 rushing yards, propelling the offense down the stretch. But let's not forget about the performance from Alabama's defense yesterday. The Tigers made it past the Alabama 40-yard line once, and that was on their last drive when they reached the goal line, and Kane Womack decided to put the starters in to blank the Tigers on their last drive. It was the first time Missouri has been shut out since 2019, and you could tell this team wasn't just playing for a win. They wanted to give its defense what it earned, a shutout.
We wanted to finish the game off on the right foot, so the whole game we kind of was just going on the want-to-know mentality, and then when it gets to the end, we don't want to give up any score. So for us to come back in the game and get a big 4th and goal stop, the ball was on the way. One, yeah, that's a big-time stop, and it says a lot about our team responding to adversity.
I need to see them have success, to see all of us have success together that's what I came to Alabama for. So whatever it takes, I love those guys, and I'm glad we were able to have a dominant performance today.
Let's go to Bama in the NFL, and we lead off with the return of Tua Tagovailoa. Tua was back in the lineup today after he suffered a concussion in Week 2, and he looked sharp today with 234 passing yards and a touchdown, but the Cardinals walked this game off on a field goal as time expired. Jahmyr Gibbs was the first to score today on this 70-yard touchdown run in the first quarter, and the Lions went on to blow out the Titans 52-14. But let's keep it in Detroit. Calvin Ridley only had 12 receptions all season heading into today, but the Titans emphasized getting him the ball in this game. He finished with 10 catches and 143 yards. And Xavier McKinney got another interception today for the Packers in their win over the Jaguars. And he's a front runner for Defensive Player of the Year. McKinney now has 6 interceptions this year. Now another quarterback starting his first game since Week 2. Bryce Young got the start today in Andy Dalton's absence, and he finished with 2 touchdowns, but here you see he's intercepted by Pat Surtain. Bama on Bama crime. Now a little Alabama basketball update for you. Grant Nelson, Aiden Sherrill, and Latrell Wrightsell are all out for Monday's charity exhibition against Memphis due to injuries, per head coach Nate Oates. All 3 guys also missed a 98-77 exhibition win over Wake Forest. You can catch tomorrow's matchup against the Tigers in Huntsville on ESPN Plus at 6 p.m. Well, Alabama soccer is on the road today as they face Vanderbilt to close out the regular season. Now, Alabama would get on the board first. Here you see Gianna Paul put it in the left corner for the first score. However, Alabama had a tough time with the Commodores today and could not keep up. Here, Vanderbilt scores its 3rd goal of the game. Alabama drops their season finale 3-1. The Crimson Tide finished conference play 2-3-5 and are in 9th place heading into the postseason. Former Alabama golfer Justin Thomas was tied for first place last night in the Zozo Championship in Japan, but today didn't go as planned for the former 2-time PGA Player of the Year. Thomas shot 4 under today and missed his putt by a hair on hole 11, which proved to be the difference as he lost by 1 stroke. JT came so close to his first victory in 29 months, but it was Nico Cheviera who came out on top after he birdied on the 72nd hole to take first place. And it's playoff time in NASCAR. The Homestead Final was today in Miami. First, you're going to see Tyler Reddick here hang on and take stage 1. Then on the final lap, you'll see Reddick take it home and take the Homestead Final, securing his place in the NASCAR Cup Series Championship 4 at Phoenix on November 10th. Michael Jordan's co-owned 2311 team will officially be one of the 4 cars racing for the Cup. And before I toss the break, I wanted to mention real quick, Alex Reese, former Alabama basketball player, was a bartender 3 years ago. Tonight, he got in the game for the Oklahoma City Thunder and scored his first NBA career basket. Laura?
All right, we'll stick around and we'll be right back. Thank you, Sam. Prince William is sharing previously unseen family pictures of his late mother, Princess Diana. The Prince of Wales is releasing a new documentary titled Prince William, We Can End Homelessness. In the series, the 42-year-old heir to the British throne recalls visiting The Passage, a British charity for the homeless, alongside his mother. William first visited the charity when he was 11 years old. He called the visit powerful and says it helped shape his work to eradicate homelessness. The first episode of the documentary will air on the British network IT this week. Have you guys seen The Crown on Netflix? Have you watched it?
I have not, but the Queen visited the house in Downton Abbey, so.
We love the connection. We love Downton Abbey here, don't we? All right, Sam, well, Vanderbilt looks like it's looking pretty scary in sports, doesn't it?
I mean, they beat us in football, they beat us in soccer. It seems like the Commodores' year. Hopefully it doesn't bleed over to any other sports. So.
Yeah, and what did you think about Alabama dropping or rising one place in the polls after our win yesterday?
Well, I thought they would have rose a little bit higher, but with Texas A&M beating LSU, that kind of messed with the rankings a little bit, and not a lot of chaos happened yesterday. So
yeah, it's going to be an exciting week for college football. And our look at our weather for one last time.
What else is scary this week? We've got Halloween in the 80s this week. Ooh. We've got 80s this way in October, so scary enough.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you. That's our report for tonight. Thank you so much. Have a great night.